Please turn to page 2.
It was springtime in the far north, and the winter snow was melting. Inside her den, a mother wolf gave birth to a litter of cubs. 2 of them survived. Silver was strong, but his brother Prince was even larger. Prince, with his darker coat, would be a handsome wolf one day. Every day, other wolves came to visit the den. The cub's father brought food for his mate. 3 other young wolves sometimes slipped inside and nuzzled their new brothers. By the time Silver and Prince were 4 weeks old, they would come outside the den to play. When any of the full-grown wolves came back from hunting, the little cubs would jump up and lick their faces, begging for food. Then the wolves gave them pieces of meat. The cubs enjoyed romping together, but soon their play fights became real. After a while, Silver learned that Prince was stronger and would always bite harder. So he rolled over onto his back. This meant that Prince had won. Prince didn't bite, but he put his tail high in the air to show that he was Silver's master. After that, Silver always put his tail down between his legs whenever Prince came near him. The 2 cubs never fought again. All the wolves knew their places in the pack. The leader was the cub's father, who was the strongest wolf of all. The other wolves all dropped their tails when he came by. When the cubs were 8 weeks old, their mother led them to a new home. It was a grassy meadow beside a creek. From now on, they would sleep outside, with only the trees and bushes to shelter them from the sun and the rain. Silver and Prince enjoyed playing with the other wolves in the open meadow. They were never left unguarded. All through the brief summer and autumn, they ran about in the home meadow. Their legs grew stronger every day. They both learned how to pounce on mice in the grass, but Silver could not jump as far as Prince, nor pounce as fast. Prince was going to be a great hunter. One day, he might become the leader of the pack. When the first snowstorms of winter came, Silver and Prince were 7 months old. Now they were big enough to join their family on the hunting trail. Before they set off, the wolves touched noses, lifted their heads, and howled. All their voices joined together to make an eerie sound. The howl echoed around the hills and told other wolf packs to stay away. Then the cub's father led the pack into another valley to hunt. The hungry wolves sniffed the wind and scented deer, caribou. The pack set off in single file through the snow. As the wolves closed in, the frightened caribou started to run. The wolves noticed that one older animal was running more slowly. They all spread out and surrounded it. Because this was his first hunt, Silver held back and watched, as a young wolf should. But Prince wanted to do everything the full-grown wolves did. He leaped onto the side of the old caribou and helped the pack to bring it down. Prince was daring. One cold day, a few weeks later, the wolves scented the largest deer of all, Moose. The pack moved closer, moving at a steady trot. At the last minute, the moose sensed danger and tried to get away, but the wolves ran faster. Then the largest moose turned and faced the wolf pack. The older wolves were wary. They knew that moose were tough fighters. But bold young Prince rushed forward. Crack! Prince had been kicked on the head. The heavy blow sent him flying into a snowdrift. The leader of the pack saw that the moose was far too strong to bring down, so he led the wolves away. Silver looked back, expecting Prince to run up and join them. But Prince was lying very still in the snow, with a crack in his skull. The pack had to move on and leave him there. Hunting was not easy at the end of the winter. The wolves often failed to make a kill. They grew lean, eating only just enough to keep themselves going. But in these hard times, Silver became skilled and strong. He learned everything a young wolf needed to know about hunting. One morning in early spring, Silver caught sight of a strange thin wolf. It came slinking towards the pack, with its tail tucked between its legs. Its ribs were showing, and its head was scarred. But the wolf was not a stranger. It was Prince. Somehow, in spite of bitter cold, loneliness, and almost no food, he had survived. Tough young Prince had managed to stay alive while his skull mended. The wolves gathered around and smelled him from top to tail. Prince lay on his back, begging to be allowed to rejoin the pack, and the wolves welcomed him in. As the days went by, Prince grew strong again, although he could no longer leap as high, nor run so fast. Now, when he came near Silver, he did not raise his tail. He had become a brave and friendly brother, but not a powerful one. It was Silver's tail that rose, and many years later it would be Silver, not Prince, who became the leader of the wolf pack.